Hello, my name is Sarah, and I want to tell you about a journey that changed my life. I grew up in a small village surrounded by mountains and green fields. My family didn't have much, but we were happy together. My father was a farmer, and my mother stayed home to take care of me and my younger brother. Life was simple, but sometimes it felt like we were stuck in the same place. I always dreamed of doing something more, of making a difference in the world. One evening, as the sun was setting, my father called me to sit with him. "Sarah," he said gently, "you have the potential to do great things, but to achieve them, you must work hard and never, never give up." I nodded, not fully understanding what he meant, but his words stayed with me. The next morning, I decided to take the first step toward change. I started waking up early to help my father on the farm. While planting seeds, he would tell me stories about people who achieved their dreams through hard work and determination. These stories inspired me and made me believe that anything was possible. One day, I saw a group of women from a nearby town visiting our village. They were dressed professionally and spoke with confidence. I overheard them talking about a workshop they were organizing for young women. Curious, I asked them what it was about. "It's a program to help women learn new skills and build better futures," one of them explained with a warm smile. I felt a spark of excitement. "Can I join?" I asked hesitantly. "Of course," she said. "We'd love to have you." That evening, I told my parents about the workshop. My father looked proud and said, "This is your chance, Sarah. Go and learn everything you can." The next week, I attended the workshop. It was held in a small community center, and there were about 20 young women there. We learned about many things, like communication, leadership, and starting small businesses. At first, I felt nervous. I was shy and didn't know anyone, but the instructors were kind and encouraging. They told us, "Every big dream starts with a small step." Those words stayed with me. One of the lessons was about setting goals. We were asked to write down 3 things we wanted to achieve. I wrote, 1. Learn new skills. 2. Help my family. 3. Start a business. As I looked at my list, I felt a mix of excitement and fear. Can I really do this? I wondered. But then I remembered my father's words, "Work hard and never give up." At the workshop, we also learned about the importance of believing in ourselves. One of the instructors shared her story. She had started with nothing but a dream and had built a successful business over time. Her story inspired me to keep going, even when things felt difficult. Every evening after the workshop, I would sit with my notebook and write down what I had learned. I practiced speaking confidently, even if it was just in front of the mirror. My family noticed the change in me. "You're glowing, Sarah," my mother said one evening. I smiled, knowing that I was on the path to something bigger. As the weeks went by, the workshop became my favorite part of the day. Every morning, I woke up feeling excited to learn something new. The instructors taught us practical skills like how to manage money and plan small projects. I realized that these lessons could help me not only build a better life, but also support my family. One day, we were given a challenge to come up with a small business idea. I sat quietly, thinking hard. What can I do with the resources I have? I wondered. Then I remembered the fruits that grew in our village: apples, oranges, and plums. People loved them, but they were often sold cheaply to traders. What if I make jams and sell them directly to people in the town? I thought. When I shared my idea with the group, they clapped and smiled. "That's a great idea, Sarah," one of the instructors said. "But how will you start?" she asked. Her question made me realize that I needed a plan. I spent the next few days learning about how to make high-quality jam at home. I practiced in the kitchen with my mother. She taught me how to choose the best fruits and cook them just right. The first batch of jam wasn't perfect, it was too sweet, and the texture was a little runny. But I didn't give up. I kept trying, adjusting the recipe until it was just right. When I finally made a jar of jam that tasted delicious, I felt so proud. The next challenge was finding customers. I decided to visit the nearby town and talk to shop owners. At first, I felt nervous. What if they say no, I thought. But I reminded myself of what the instructors had taught us. Be confident and believe in your product. I walked into the first shop and introduced myself. "Hello, my name is Sarah," I said. "I'm starting a small business, and I'd like you to try my homemade jam." The shopkeeper looked at the jar and smiled. "This looks good," he said. "Let me taste it." He opened the jar, took a spoonful, and nodded. "This is delicious," he said. "How much do you want for it?" Hearing those words made my heart race with excitement. I sold him 5 jars that day and promised to bring more the following week. Over time, word spread about my jams. People in the town started asking for them, and I began receiving more orders. I used the money I earned to buy better equipment and more supplies. My family helped me as my small business grew. My father would pick fresh fruits from the farm, and my mother helped me package the jars. Even my younger brother joined in, helping me label the jars with a handmade design. Each jar had a simple message, "Made with love by Sarah." Seeing the jars lined up on the shelves of shops filled me with pride. One evening, as we sat together as a family, my father said, "Sarah, you've done something amazing. You've turned a small idea into a big success." His words meant so much to me, but I knew that my journey was just beginning. I wanted to teach others in my village what I had learned. I started organizing small meetings in the community center. I shared my story and taught other women how to start their own businesses. At first, only a few people came, but as they saw my success, more and more women joined. Together, we shared ideas, supported each other, and built a stronger community. Looking back, I realized that the workshop wasn't just about learning skills. It was about believing in myself and taking that first step toward change. I learned that even the smallest ideas can grow into something big if you work hard and never give up. To anyone listening to my story, I want to say this: don't be afraid to dream. Take that first step, even if it feels small. With hard work, anything is possible. Thank you for listening to my journey.